all my green energy advocates in my chat, which I know I have so many. In a big climate move, the EPA is set to unveil tough limits on auto emissions. The EPA next week is expected to unveil a rule that would accelerate the transition, love that word, who doesn't love a good transition, you know what I'm saying, to electric vehicles by setting long-term restrictions on auto emissions. The Biden administration will soon unveil the stringent limits on auto tailpipe pollution, which is so good to see. If you don't live in a blue state who requires you to have one of those California catalytic converters that thieves will steal and sell in the black market that costs an average of $1,000 to buy, then you're not living correctly. Am I right, Queen? The Biden administration will soon unveil stringent limits on auto tailpipe pollution, aiming to ensure that as many as 2/3 of all new passenger vehicles sold are electric by 2032. There's nothing more encouraging to me than when I see the government tell a corporation, say, hey, you're going to make this kind of vehicle, and if you don't, we're going to put some stringent taxes on you and shut you down, because we're all about, as Joe Biden says, the free market. That's what we're about here. The EPA, the toughest ever EPA on auto emissions, threatens to spark fight with several automakers, or maybe poor people like myself who live in, one of those states that say, hey, if you want to drive and you're going to replace your catalytic converter, you have to spend $1,000 on a catalytic converter that will probably be stolen, which you will have to buy another one because we're trying to lower emissions. You can't just go and put one on. We'll check it, and we'll be after you people. You poor people are just going to have to suck it up. And if you don't, the government will be here to help. And then you can sell your soul to the government like the rest of us and be thankful that Joe Biden will give you more money in order to live, because it's a beautiful place to be. Thank God the EPA is finally cleaning up the air, because I can barely breathe every time I walk outside.